There you go.
There it goes.
All right, now let me go back
Lord.
down here. I thought it was my connection.
No, it
Hold on a
was
second.
my privacy settings.
Okay. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are.
My name is Jessica Larson. I am Wyatt Larson's mom, who goes to Gracemor. He is in 2nd grade. And this has been an ongoing issue for 3 years now. So we're about fed up with it, very much.
I can imagine. Like I said, I just put my son in school, and I'm terrified.
Yeah,
I just enrolled him. He hasn't went yet. He hasn't had his first day, but I was worried about this type of stuff.
Yeah. So he has had an IEP plan he got diagnosed when he was 3. So he's been diagnosed autistic since he was 3. He went to a special education center for the first 2 years and then started in gen ed in kindergarten. And so he's been with Gracemor since he was in kindergarten. They tried to take him last year in 1st grade off his IEP and just put him on a 504. Well, then they just completely dismissed all of his services after that. And for any parent that is like very well aware, if they tell you they cannot open their IEP it has to be a year, that's not true. Look up your legal rights as a parent, because I fought this. If the school district and the parent agrees that your child needs to be back on IEP, they have to reopen it. They do not have a choice. They cannot fight you on it. There's not a year mark on that. They have to reopen it. So I had to fight that for 3 months. They finally reopened it, and it's just been nonstop issues. They're constantly saying they have to restrain Wyatt. I've asked for pictures. I've asked for video footage. They won't provide it to me. I want to know, like, what marks he's putting on teachers, because he's being accused of it. He's being accused of being aggressive, and they will not provide that information. They just say he's aggressive, he's biting, he's kicking. He doesn't do that at home. He doesn't do it with his babysitter. He does not do it anywhere.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they keep saying this but will not provide information, I feel like being restrained, and he's fighting back is what's happening.
Yeah.
Does he get out of control? Probably, yes. Does he rip stuff off the wall? Does he rip up papers? Absolutely. But he's not being aggressive with teachers. He's not hitting anybody. And so what's happening is he's pulling stuff off the walls, and they're restraining him. And he's fighting back. Which I would too. If somebody puts their hands on me, I'm absolutely going to fight back. My
son does that, though. He'll go around and touch everything. Every single thing he sees. And you take something from him, he'll just look to the next thing and grab it. Like,
I mean, he gets frustrated, and he rips up paper, and he is a child. He's 7 years old, not to mention autistic.
Yeah.
So he's getting pissed off, and he's ripping papers off the wall. But he is not aggressive with anybody. But if you are putting your hands on him, because I'm telling you right now, you put your hands on me, I'm fighting back. 100%. 100%. You don't put your hands on me.
Right.
And so you're putting your hands on a child that doesn't even know how to control those emotions, then yes, he's going to fight back. And you're blaming it on him instead of taking accountability for your own actions. I've had at least 35 parents reach out to me about Mrs. Harris herself. And she's been a principal for 2 years there. 2 years.
I know as soon as I posted this, I had a bunch of people comment and message me and say, my kid's doing the same thing. I've dealt with this with the school. There's a lot of people that have dealt with this issue.
Absolutely. And it's ridiculous. Like, and I will hold my children accountable all day, every day. I have said, yes, he needs to be accountable for his actions. He needs to apologize. He needs to do this. But when you're taking him out of his general education. So what you're doing right now is you're trying to be a warden. You're trying to treat a 7-year-old like he's in prison. You're more focused on discipline than you are actually educating my son.
So what happened with them calling? They called the sheriff?
Yes. So this was actually the end of the last school year. The last week of school, he did not attend at all. So this was the second week before school got out. We didn't get a phone call. Didn't know he was being aggressive, as they say. My ex-husband actually went to pick him up, and they had called the sheriff's department when my ex-husband walked in. They had a sheriff restraining my son.
Wow.
We never got a phone call saying we needed to pick him up. We got a phone call it was 4 o'clock. So they actually dismiss at 4:15 to get on the bus. We got a phone call at 4 o'clock saying that they were not putting Wyatt on the bus and we needed to come pick him up. Well, Zach was almost there. And when he got there, Wyatt was locked in the office with sheriffs. He is 7 years old.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I'm sorry, you have a school resource officer. And then when I bring that to light, they're like, well, they're not trained. They're only trained for certain situations like school shootings. Okay, so you're trained for a school shooting, but not how to handle a 7-year-old autistic child? Are you kidding me?
Now the staff, are they restraining him? Like, are they?
Yes, they are holding his arms. They are putting his arms behind his back, and they're saying that it's for their safety.
Wow.
But when I've asked for the last 2 years, I want pictures. I want something showing evidence of the marks he's putting on you for why you're restraining him. They will not provide them.
Well, because he's not doing it.
Not. And the only marks that have been on anybody is on my son from them restraining him. Because as soon as I show up to that school, every time he's sitting in the corner by himself, being quiet, holding his legs like in the fetal position. And as soon as I walk, he's calm as can be. He wants to be with him. If he's overwhelmed, he does this at home. He goes up to his room, he shuts the door, and he goes into a small, he wants it to be dark. He wants to be left alone. Mm-hmm. He needs time to decompress.
My son stims. He'll sit there and rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind that they are still pushing this narrative that he is aggressive and he is physically violent when there's been no evidence of that. The only information we get is they send us emails. This email they sent to me last night saying he was going to be suspended was at like 8 o'clock last night. I picked him up from school at 4:30 yesterday. Not one thing was mentioned. And I get an email from the principal saying, well, here are his options. He gets ISS with Miss Garcia, which he is not allowed to be around. She triggers him. She is aggressive. She is mean to him. And he has verbally stated, I do not want anything to do with him. So he either gets ISS with her or he gets out of school suspension. So that goes on his record because they don't have the staff to deal with him.
Right. It seems like from what I read, it sounds like they're just tired of dealing with him. 100%. They're just trying, a suspension's excuse to just get rid of him for a little while.
100%. But yeah. And here's the thing, multiple people have said they've tried to switch their children's school districts. Mm-hmm. And Miss Harris will refuse the transfer because they're getting that funding for the special education that they don't even know how to provide. Yeah. So if you want that funding so bad, hire people that can deal with these kids because it's not fair to my child.
Yeah. It's incompetence. That's what worries me. You know, these people don't know how to deal with these children.
No, 100.
And then you get to the point where they're abusing them and they're snatching them up and restraining them, and you know.
Absolutely. Wyatt he's been home with me all day. Mm-hmm. Not aggressive, the sweetest kid in the world. Even his babysitter. I called his babysitter today and I was like, hey, he's not going to be on the bus. And she's like, are you kidding me? She's like, he's been there for 3 years. As long as he's been at Gracemor. She's like, he has never been aggressive. He's never been mean. He's never been anything. So it's something that somebody is provoking him to do. And this is not just me. Listen, if my child was abusive and like aggressive, like I would have gotten those resources for him 100%.
Yeah. Because
I don't want him in that situation. I don't want him hurting another child, but he's not that child. He is not that child. And it's just, but they're not showing any sort of evidence showing that he is that child. They're just wanting us to go off their word of mouth, which I'm sorry is not good enough for me. I don't care if you're an adult. You're literally acting like you're a prison warden right now, and like you just want to, like, if that's what you want to do, then go apply to a prison. You don't need to be a elementary school educator. This is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, and not fair to the kids at all. And I've heard Miss Harris talking to a student who is not in special education, and the way she was talking to him, I wouldn't even talk to my own children that way.
Right.
She was demeaning him for breaking some sort of rule at Gracemor, like at recess. Just talking to him like he was the world's biggest POS, and he's like an 8-year-old child.
Yeah,
it's
these
ridiculous.
are people who don't understand autistic children, you know?
Right. Well,
so,
that's what I'm
so
saying.
they look at them as
just this was a regular student, so I can't even imagine how they're talking.
Oh, this was a regular student.
Yes, so I can't even imagine how they talk to the kids with special needs. I cannot, but I cannot. So
it takes a special level of patience to deal with them, for sure.
No, it absolutely does. And I had somebody comment on my Facebook post earlier saying that I'm the problem, and I'm the type of parent that makes teachers want to quit, but all I'm doing is advocating for my son. I'm not going to let him get abused at a public school because you don't have the resources to deal with him.
Right.
So I'm sorry, I'm not the problem. It's teachers who.
And it's hard because I wanted to homeschool my son, but then when you think about it, like, it's really almost impossible to do that.
It is. I can't afford it. I can hardly afford to just be, I mean, I'm a single mom. I can hardly afford to even raise my kids. You know what I mean? Raise my kids by myself, let alone try to homeschool my son and not work. It just is, it's ridiculous. They're making it impossible for everybody.
And they're just basically just trying to get rid of him, just
100%.
trying to avoid the issue.
Yep. Absolutely. Wow. Yep. So.
Yeah, when I read that, it pissed me off.
Yeah.
I was like, we have to talk about this.
Well, and the amount of people that have come out and like reached out to me because they're having the same issues is astounding to me. I mean, multiple people who are wanting to like join forces and make this like a big thing, because it is a big thing. This has been going on for years.
Right.
So it just is, it blows my mind. It blows my mind that they have gotten away with so much.
And it's so crazy, all the people that have came out since I said this earlier.
Absolutely. I mean, I have, like I said, I have multiple messages in my inbox from at least 30 to 35 different parents.
Yeah.
So it's, how do you deny, I mean, I can see you denying 1, 2 kids, but how do you deny 35 different parents with the same issue? And they actually sent me pictures of documentation they have from the school, the same thing that I have, showing their just absolute neglect. How do you deny that? How do you deny? You can't deny that.
Is your son nonverbal?
No, nope.
Okay.
He actually is extremely intelligent. His sister is in the SAGE program, and I'm telling you right now, this kid also could be, but he's not getting the resources that he needs to strive. He's very smart.
That's one thing that worries me, is he's nonverbal. And another thing about sending him to these schools is when these people hit him, grab him up, do whatever they want to do to him, my son can't come home and tell me, Daddy, this man hurt me, this lady hit me, you know? And those are the kids that are targeted because they can't tell. 100%. And so those are the ones that they go after.
100%. I absolutely agree.
And that's what bothers me the most about putting him in public school.
They're counting on me to just think Wyatt's lying because he's autistic. And that's not the case. I will never not believe my child. Right. Wyatt does not lie. Emily does not lie. They do not lie to me about that type of stuff. So I would absolutely be worried about that too, especially in the public education system. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
It scares the hell out of me.
I don't blame you. It's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, and it's my son is almost 6, and he is still in diapers.
Yeah.
When he was born, he had a G-tube, and he couldn't swallow. He had swallowing issues.
Yeah.
And so he's got to have his food chopped up.
Yeah.
Like, taking care of him is going to be like having a newborn baby. You know, he walks around. He's active. He's a kid, but at the same time, you got to feed him. You still got to change him.
He still has those special needs that he needs. He needs help with. And like, we're counting on these people who say they're, you know, in special education and they have all this experience. And then when it comes down to it, okay, yeah, you may have gotten a degree in special education, but as a person, as a human being, how are you actually with handling them? That makes a huge difference. Because Gracemor strives himself on, oh yeah, we're so great with, you know, this is what we excel in is special education. And the amount of people that have come out and just blasted Miss Harris the school itself, the special education system, baffles me.
Yeah.
If I would have known that, I would have never put my kids in this school district to begin with, ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. And I know a lot of people who are like very, very pissed off right now.
Oh yeah, I see it.
It's starting an uproar, and so I honestly hope they're ready for it, because
that's why I wanted to do this live, because I wanted you to be able to tell your story and get it out there. I
don't think they're ready for what is about to happen. Like, they think that it's just, and from my understanding, first of all, North Kansas City School District, Gracemor specifically, has been sued twice for the same issue, and they have lost those lawsuits.
Wow.
From my understanding, from the information that I have gotten. And so this continues to be an issue. And I had the superintendent, Becky Cronky is her name, been talking to her since last year, was very much on our side with this whole issue until recently. And when I talked to her this morning, she shut me down real quick. And she's like, nope, this is what we do. I'm on Miss Harris's side. And I'm like, okay, if that's a route that you want to go, because from my understanding, exactly like I've said, they've been sued twice now over the same issues, and they've lost both lawsuits. And this has all been since Miss Harris has been the principal, which has only been 2 years.
Damn.
So
they're gonna end up with more if they keep doing that type of shit.
Yep, 100%. I mean,
this scares me.
I know, and I'm not trying to scare you, but at the same time,
no.
Parents need to be educated on the fact that, like, my son is very high functioning. He is very low spectrum autistic, but this is how he's getting treated. So kids that are nonverbal and who are very high spectrum, can you even imagine?
Right.
So
what are they doing? They're just trying to get him out of the school. They suspended him. Is he back, or is he still suspended?
Wyatt, he's suspended for the next 2 days.
He's still suspended?
Yep, I have to go up to the school tomorrow to have a meeting at 8:30 in the morning with them for a re-entry plan. And they're bringing in a different superintendent for North Kansas City School Board. Not Becky Cronky. So
to see if they even want him in their school anymore.
Exactly.
That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, yeah. But everything that I get from his teachers, that I get from anything, they say Wyatt is such a great student. He is lovable. He is, he's very willing to apologize and realize his mistakes.
Right.
They're just, it's ridiculous. It breaks my heart, because it's my baby boy. I've been fighting for this kid since he was a year old to get him diagnosed. Finally got him diagnosed at 3, and I've still been fighting for him. And it's like, I just have to continue to fight for him because the schools aren't doing it.
What I've noticed about it is a lot of people just tend to push autistic children out of the way. They just 100%. Don't want to. They don't want to deal with them, and that's what's going on.
Well, and don't get me wrong, I will very much hold Wyatt accountable. If he does something that he needs to be held accountable for, I make him realize, this is why you're in trouble. This is what you did. We need to correct these actions. We have always held him accountable and made him realize that certain things he is doing are not appropriate. He's got to learn how to handle those emotions.
Yeah.
But what are we, like, how are we supposed to handle it when you guys are restraining him and holding him back and making him out to be the villain? And you're not providing us that information to show that he is the aggressor.
Right. Because if he was hitting them and stuff, they'd be able to show you
100%.
Bruises and proof of it.
Well, and that's the thing. I go pick him up, and it's the same teacher sitting with him in the hallway. Not one single mark on any of them. Not one. And they're like, well, he scratched my skin and made me bleed. Okay, I'm sitting here looking at you, and there's not one single mark on you. But there are marks on my child.
Yeah.
So who is the aggressor? Like, why are there marks on him and not marks on you, but you're saying that he pulled your hair out of your head and he cut your skin open? Where's all this evidence at? If he's actually doing this, and why are you not showing? I've been asking for this for 2 years. If
they're grabbing him up and putting their hands on him and he's hitting them back, protecting himself, he's not doing nothing wrong. They shouldn't be putting their damn hands on him.
That's what I'm saying. If somebody
How is he coming home with bruises? They're obviously touching him.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I would fight back. If you're putting your hands around me and bear hugging me and doing all this stuff to restrain. I would absolutely fight back. And I'm not, I mean, I might be autistic. I don't think I am. But, you know what I mean? Like, no, I'm going to fight back.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. You don't put your hands on people. So if you don't want Wyatt putting his hands on you, don't put your hands on him. Do we not teach kids that?
Yeah.
It blows my mind. The whole thing blows my mind.
So have you like documented these bruises and stuff?
Yeah.
So there, okay.
I have 3 years worth of documentation. I'm in contact with a IEP lawyer. I'm in contact with a civil rights lawyer. I'm in contact with the school district. I'm in contact with the Board of Education, state of Missouri. All of
that was my next question. Was you pursuing legal action? I mean, we don't have to talk about all that here, but yeah, okay.
Well, it's not just me though. There's a group of us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's not a chance in hell. I mean, when you have this many people with all the documentation showing all the same shit.
The same school, right?
The same school, the same principal, the same teachers.
Wow.
How are you going to sit here and say that this is just a me issue protecting, trying to protect my son and act like he's not the aggressor when there's multiple people coming forward? Since I've posted this on Facebook, it has blown up and multiple people have come forward with the same stories. I
got people in my inbox too telling me that
And the common denominator is Brittany Harris, is the principal of the school.
I was getting ready to ask, who is she exactly? She's the principal?
She took over for, God, I can't remember his name, but I think she took over I want to say last year, because Wyatt had a different principal when Wyatt was in kindergarten. So yeah, this is, I mean, been a shit show since she's taken over. And like I said, Dr. Wheeler, thank you. Yes, Dr. Wheeler was a principal before, and Wyatt had some issues, but not to this extent. I mean, he was in kindergarten. He was 5 years old.
Right.
Turning 5. And since she's taken over, it's like a little prison camp for elementary schoolers.
How long has he been going to that school?
3 years.
3 years?
Mm-hmm.
And this is these problems are just recent with this new principal, right?
Yep. I know she prosecuted a 5th grader last year for breaking the door. Prosecuted him, didn't even contact the parents. So now he's in the juvenile system because of her.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't even contact the parents. Just straight prosecuted the 5th
When I was a kid, that's what they did. When you messed up, they just call your parents to come get
100%.
you. They didn't call the cops. They didn't do none of that.
Nope. She didn't contact the parents. She didn't do anything. She just went straight to prosecution. A 5th grader. And now he's in the juvenile system because of her for a $350 door.
For breaking the door?
Yeah. Which actually, he didn't even do it. They have video footage of he didn't even do it. It was somebody else who did it. He was there and active in he was there, but he's not the one who broke the door, and they prosecuted him. So now he's got a juvie record.
Wow.
5th grade.
Same principal.
Brittany
I just want to point that out. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Brittany Harris. Yep. So.
That is crazy.
Yeah. It's the whole thing. It's ridiculous. It's one of those things. You put somebody in charge, and they think all of a sudden they got these big balls of steel, and they can just do whatever they want. And that's exactly what she's doing with elementary school children.
Yeah. And just because a child is different, you know what I mean? They don't deserve that.
No, not at all. And
that's all this is. That's all this is. You're not like everybody else, so you don't belong here.
And ironically enough, the child who got prosecuted is now on a 504 plan, has also maybe not autistic, but also has some sort of special needs where he needs special attention. So it seems to be she's just triggering these kids that are, the underdog, pretty much. So.
I'd like to know about some of these teachers. Are they just regular teachers? Are they certified to work with these children?
I will say Wyatt's teacher is fantastic. He has had her for the last 2 years, and he absolutely loves her. If he's allowed to stay in class, he does great. But they try to pull him out of class when all these services are supposed to be in place if he needs them. Okay, so he needs to be in his general education class. If you keep him in there, he's fine. They come in and try to pull him out, and he doesn't want to go, and they force him out of the class, and that's where this whole issue starts.
Well, yeah.
You know, but I will say his teacher, his specific teacher, is fantastic. I've never had an issue with my daughter there, but she's also in the SAGE program. She's one of their, you know, she's a student that these schools strive off of because she's got a high IQ. She's in the SAGE program. She makes the school look good.
Right.
So, you know, they treat her with just, you know, roses, throwing roses down on a red carpet for her. But you have Wyatt, who is just, you know, he's the problem child. So
what happens if they, you know, tell you that they don't want him there no more?
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm taking him out of school regardless.
Oh, so he's gone regardless.
100%.
Absolutely.
And then I'm filing legal action. I mean, I've already had people reach out about it. I don't even have to do anything. I've already had people reach out to me about it. So, I mean, because this has been years of issues, and then putting their hands on my child, calling the sheriff's department on a 7-year-old. Are you kidding
wild.
me? Give me a break. I'm 5'2". I am 5'2", 150 pounds, and I can handle my son.
Right.
I can handle my son. Are you telling me that you're that scared of a 7-year-old child that you have to call the sheriff's department? Are you freaking kidding me?
That's insane.
It is absolutely insane. So.
And the sheriffs were restraining him too. They was putting hands on him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then like, the school resource officer was he's only trained for situations if there's an active shooting. I'm like, so he can handle an active shooting, but he can't handle a 7-year-old autistic child? Are you freaking kidding me? That was literally their excuse for not getting the school resource officer involved, but calling the sheriff's department. So the school resource officer can handle an active shooter, but not a 7-year-old with autism. Are you kidding? That absolutely blows my mind. Makes no sense to me at all. None. Not even a little bit. Can you go sit with your sister, please, for a minute?
No, not at all.
Sorry, my daughter, my oldest is making my baby a bottle. Hold
on. That's fine. That's cool. Man. So you have a meeting with them when you said?
So actually, Miss Harris called me today, and they want to have a re-entry meeting.
Yeah, that's what it is.
8:30 tomorrow morning.
Huh.
So
let me know how that goes, because we can do this again if we have to.
Oh, 100%. I already told her, when I talked to her on the phone, she kept trying to talk to me about, like, why it was suspended. And, like, she's like, I'm sorry you're frustrated. I was like, I'm telling you, today is not the day to talk to me about this. You guys just suspended my son because you can't handle him. That's crazy. Today is not the day. Today is not the day. So me and my ex-husband, Zach, which he's on this live as well.
Yeah, I've seen him comment.
Yeah. What are you doing? Yes, tap water's fine, baby. Sorry. So he's going to be there tomorrow as well. So
okay. Yeah, people in here saying that they'll throw hands for Wyatt.
oh yeah, 100%.
I'm just now reading some of the comments.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has met Wyatt. He is the sweetest kid. I'm not saying he's an angel by any means. Yes, he has his issues, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like they're putting every child in this category and just assuming this is what's going to happen with them, and that's how they're reacting to his behavior. Like, it just blows my mind. So I'm not happy. It's been 3 years coming. A lot of people see my friend. I got your bail money. I'm that close.
I'm definitely going to follow this. Keep in touch with me and let me know how this goes.
No, absolutely. I will. My meeting's at 8:30 tomorrow morning. So as soon as I'm done, I will message you. And if we got to do another live, we're going to do another live.
Hey, I'm going to bring as much pressure as I can. Even if your son does leave the school, like, the pressure needs to be on that school. Something needs to be done.
Here's the thing. As soon as I get him out of the school, then I can pursue legal action. They say not to pursue legal action until he's out of the school district. And here's the thing, like, I'm not trying to be that person. Like, I'm not trying to win some big lawsuit, nothing like that. But I am trying to hold them accountable, because it's going to keep happening to kid after kid after kid after kid until they're actually held
accountable. You got to protect your child. You got to protect your child. So that's what you're doing.
But grew up in this area. I mean, the amount of people that are in school with my child that we graduated together. Our kids are in class together. Like, somebody needs to be held accountable for their freaking actions. They're not just going to keep getting away with the same shit every single day and hurting these kids that are innocent little kids. They're babies. They're our babies. We're supposed to protect them, you know. And there's some people that just they can't go after somebody, or they don't have, not necessarily have the nerve to like speak up, but it, like, you know what I mean? Listen, I'm blunt and I'm honest, and I'll yell and I'll scream and I'll burn a building down. I don't give a shit. Like, that's my baby. That's my baby, and I'm gonna speak up for him and every other kid that they treat like shit.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Not fair. It's not fair.
That's all.
Do you want to say hi? You want to come say
That's
hi?
all that is. Who is this?
This is my baby Wyatt.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Yes, go ahead.
Kind of shy.
Yeah, he is very
He's just a little guy.
He's
Come
on. He's my little baby.
He looks all sweet and innocent. He didn't do nothing wrong.
No, I know he can be a little asshole. Do not get me wrong. I know.
I know. I'm just being sarcastic.
No, but he does not.
But he looks like a nice kid.
He's not aggressive. He's not aggressive at all.
Right.
So it just blows my mind. This whole situation blows my mind. So
definitely, I wouldn't want to deal with it. I try to put myself in your shoes, and I'm like, man, I'd be putting hands on somebody.
No, well, see, I'm trying to keep myself out of jail.
And do that, yes, do that. I'm not encouraging no acts of violence now. Don't get me wrong.
You don't got to encourage it, because I've already said multiple times. I'm like, they are lucky. They are lucky that I got this gang of kids to take care of. I can't be going to jail. So.
Oh, how old is that one right there?
She's 3 months. This is my baby. Oh shit! Sorry. Okay. This is my baby. Yeah.
So you have multiple kids. How many kids do you have?
3.
3? Okay.
I have 2 girls and a boy, and this is the youngest one. Say hi, Cece. Say hi. I'm sure everybody's loving her on live right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
Well, I hope everything works out for you, and I think that you should pull him out of that school.
Oh,
definitely.
Absolutely.
Pursue legal action, and somebody's got to be held accountable for it.
No, absolutely.
And that kid doesn't deserve that.
See, and that's my biggest thing is, like, they need to be held accountable for the actions they're taking. If they've had 2 lawsuits against them in the last 2 years with this principal and nothing has happened, there's an issue. She's being protected, and maybe she shouldn't work in general education. Like,
that's why I wanted to add some publicity to it, because it seems like it's being swept under the rug. Now, I haven't heard nothing about it until I read your post.
Oh yeah.
So
if you go back and look through, this has been like 3 years of I've had multiple posts about issues with this school. I should have told him sooner, but it's like, you want to trust the education system, you want to trust his IEP, you want to trust that they're going to be doing the right thing, and it's gotten out of control, 100%.
Yeah.
So, but I will keep you updated, and I will
definitely.
You tomorrow.
It was nice to talk to you.
Absolutely.
And finally meet you. And yeah, you got to put the pressure on them. You have to, and that's what I'm saying. I haven't heard nothing about this, so I wanted to add some type of publicity, and hopefully we can get this video around, because it's just all being swept under the rug right now.
Absolutely. I got a lot of shares on my post, so I mean, if everybody could share this video and just make it well known.
Yeah, definitely.
Word out, then please do. So.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
Thank you.
We'll talk again. All right.
Bye.
Bye.